to see you again. Here is day 2 of yoga videos on YouTube, free or donation-based. I accept donations through Venmo, PayPal, and then yesterday I also figured out ApplePay. So if ApplePay is your jam, message me or leave me a comment, we can figure that out. A couple people had some questions from yesterday's video, so I'll address that really quick. If you're not interested, then just skip ahead to where we start moving. The first question was some people were asking about my education being on hold. I'm in physical therapy school. I have one more clinical rotation to complete, and that is sort of permanently on hold / postponed because of the heightened health risk here in the country. So we'll see when that starts. It was supposed to start in May. I'm really hoping it'll start in June, and then I'll graduate in July or August officially and be able to be, ta-da, a formal doctor of physical therapy. Let's hope, fingers crossed. The other question was about the level of classes that I'm gonna offer. So for now, I think I'm gonna stick with very kind of gentle flows, gentle movement for you through the weekend, and then maybe we'll kick it up a little bit into more of like a vinyasa style with more standing poses, etc. So for now, gentle, and then we'll kind of gradually grow into what comes next from there. The other thought was that I could offer some Zoom live classes. I would love, love, love to do that. If you're interested, you can leave me a comment or message me in whatever format you prefer, and we'll kind of figure out some times and days that work for people, and maybe we can put together some sort of Zoom live video, and that would just be pay what you can. Everything is just pay what you can right now. I'm doing this because I love yoga and I love sharing yoga. Money is a nice little benefit, but it's not a requirement at this point in time. So thank you for your consideration on that. With that being said, let's move into our practice now. Start in a comfortable seat that you might be able to see here. I'm sitting on a yoga block. You might sit on a folded up blanket or a pillow or two so that your hip creases are a little higher than your knees, which just tends to be a more comfortable position. Starting here, flip your palms face up into your hip creases and gently shrug the shoulders up on purpose. Drop your chin towards your chest and then circle your right ear towards your right shoulder and then back down. And then other direction, left ear towards left shoulder. And so continue that half circle side to side, or gently, slowly, you can carefully circle the neck and head all the way around. And just starting simple and easy, getting some fluid into the joints, a sense of fluidity and grace as you move. Let's take a couple more in this direction. We're keeping the shoulders lifted, acting like bumpers. Think of bumper bowling. Go ahead and switch the direction of the neck. So sometimes circling the neck doesn't feel awesome. There can be kind of a bone-on-bone connection through this back half of the circle that doesn't feel great. And so by lifting the shoulders, we're sort of limiting the range of motion of the neck here into one that hopefully feels pretty comfortable for you. It might feel a little crunchy, a little crackly. So long as it's not painful, then it's not to be of concern. Whether you're getting some crunchiness, you can just work through that. Then the next time your chin is towards your chest, pause there, relax your arms, relax your shoulders down. Take a deep inhale, fill up as much as you can. Hold the inhale at the top there, retain that breath, that prana in the body. And then slow exhale all the way out. Feel the belly button draw back towards your spine. And as you inhale, lift your head back to center and circle the shoulders. So hands can be on the laps, or you can let the arms kind of dangle by the sides here as you do some shoulder circles, getting that opening, broadening across the collarbones, across the chest. And then circle the other direction. Next, we're going to move into the wrist. So interlace your fingers together. Bring your elbows close to one another, about as high as your shoulders. And then loosely holding the hands together, circle the wrists. And you might notice as you circle the wrists, you have a little bit of space in between the palms, and that your elbows are also circling around one another. Okay, so rather than being really rigid, which is also an option, right? You could do it this way. You can also kind of let it loosen up a little bit more. So if you haven't switched directions on that rotation yet, please do. Every rotation for the joints here, we're going to do in both directions. So you can always switch when it feels right. Then take the hands down onto the legs, again, wherever they're comfortable. We're gonna circle through the belly, through the abdomen. And as you do this, try to isolate the movement through the belly. So from the bottom of the rib cage to the top of the pelvis, this is the area that you want circling, rather than moving from your shoulders and making it real big here. And you can do that if that feels better for you. But again, we're trying to kind of get into the GI system here, the digestive tract, warm that up, circle the other direction. Imagine that you're a hula dancer, perhaps, or if you've done any belly dancing, maybe you can channel that. And if I'm totally way off, if you have done belly dancing and you're like, hey, it's not like this at all, then let me know. Please educate me, I'm open to that. All right, so we're gonna do one more thing seated here. If it's comfortable for you, switch the cross of the legs and just get that other leg in front or on top to attempt to balance out through the hips and pelvis as much as possible. Hands are starting down on your knees. Slide your left hand up towards your left thigh. And I hope that I'm mirroring you, but with the camera, I'm not totally sure. I'm videoing on my iPad today instead of my laptop because I'm hoping it'll be better quality. I'm learning lots about technology, so we'll figure it out. Left hand up to your left thigh, right hand on your knee. Internally rotate that right shoulder. So like you're drawing the head of the shoulder in towards the front of your body. And as you do this, it'll flip your palm up. So this is the action of the shoulder. And then at the same time, you're gonna aim the shoulder across for the opposite knee. So inhale here, and then exhale down and across. Look down the length of the arm. Look for those right fingers. Inhale, come back up. Switch the hands. Left hand goes to the knee. Exhale, roll the shoulder in and look down. Inhale, come back up. First side. Exhale, release. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure my phone was on silent so we didn't get ringing going on. Exhale on the way down, internal rotation of the shoulder. Inhale, back up. So you might be feeling this more through your hips, your lower back. Even though we're moving the arm, it is a bit of a full body sensation, full body stretch. Wherever you're feeling it is correct for you. Let's finish up, last one on this second side. Inhale, come back up. And then whatever you're sitting on, if you're sitting on a block, you're gonna wanna move it. If you're sitting on a blanket or a pillow, you can kind of decide if you wanna keep it. That would be fine. And then take the legs out long in front of you, feet a little wider, or feet about as wide as your hips. Hands can be back behind you to support yourself here. And you're just gonna go toes in and toes out, and rotating from the hips. So the entire length of your leg is rotating in, rotating out. And then you can go both feet, same direction. Just get a little movement, trying to make sure you can see what's going on here. And then from there, just circle your ankles. So just now trying to move from the ankles. The rest of the legs will move a little bit because you're sitting on the floor. And then circle the other direction. Sigh of relief. It's good to be doing yoga. All right, let's come on over to tabletop. Move on to your hands and knees. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale back into child's pose, hips towards heels. As you inhale, come back to tabletop on your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips, relax your head and neck. Back down with your inhale to your tabletop shape. And then exhale, child's pose. And let's just get a groove going here. We're going to stick with these three poses. Every inhale is the tabletop. Exhale is either child's pose or downward dog, and I want you to flow through that now without my verbal cue. Let's go through one more round, and then we'll land in downward dog. So next time you're in downward dog, hold it there, unless you're really not a fan of downward dog, and then you can hang out in your child's pose instead. The other alternative is puppy pose. So puppy pose, hips stay over knees, but then reach the arms, reach the arms, reach the arms forward. Maybe the forehead will come to the ground, but hopefully we're getting a nice stretch through the side of the trunk and maybe under the arm here, armpit area. And you can work this as your puppy pose, half child, half downward dog. If you're in that downward dog now, let's pedal through the feet. Bending one knee at a time. this from a tabletop position. You can be on your hands and knees and reach one leg up to the ceiling. Bend that knee, rotate open to the side. I don't want to touch that painting, so I'm going to shift slightly. Okay, so you lift the leg, bend the knee, and then open it up to the side. And I think the funniest name for this pose is fire hydrant pose. So you can picture yourself as a puppy out on a walk, if that works for you. Otherwise, don't worry about that. Once you're here, you might take some circles in the air for the hip. You can do a big circle here, one direction, and then the other direction. And like I said, you can do this from a tabletop position as well, or you can be skipping it if it's not for you. Let's switch to the other leg. Leg comes up, knee bends, open it to that side like you're stacking one side of the pelvis on top of the other, and then circle the knee. And then circle the other direction. Okay, bring it back down to tabletop. Sit back on your heels. Shake the wrists out a little bit. I feel like that was a lot on the wrists. Maybe I just haven't been doing very much downward dog recently, to be totally honest with you. Take the hands out to the sides. Curl your thumb into the palm. Wrap the other fingers around. And then circle your wrists. And we don't need to be up here. We want the hands in line with the shoulders, or maybe even a little lower than the shoulders. And then circle the other direction. Okay, and then we're gonna work in tabletop for a bit here. So on your hands and knees, extend the right arm forward, extend the opposite leg, the left leg back. Big inhale. Exhale, curl in, elbow touches knee if you can, round your back. Inhale, lengthen. We're gonna do a couple of those. If you take a break for a moment, I'm gonna talk. If that's really easy for you, or you're like, gosh, I've done this a million times, then here's your step up. If you wanna progress this and make it more challenging, right arm forward, left leg back, lift the right foot off the ground. Can you see that? Balance on your knee. That's gonna change everything. Inhale here, exhale, curl in. I don't know, you guys, I don't know if I can do it and talk. It's a lot, so I'm gonna put that foot down, okay? But if you want, keep it up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl in. Take it two more times. Last one. Good, relax, bring it down. Switch sides. Left arm long, opposite leg back, right leg back. Big inhale, exhale, curl it in. And again, you have that same option to lift off your left foot to balance on your left knee if you'd like. Let's do 3 more of these. Total of 5 on each side. Long with the inhale. Exhale, curl it in. Last one. Good, bring it down, take a child's pose for a moment. Sit back, relax. Walk your arms and torso out to one side. We could call this the right side. Take a big side stretch into your left rib cage. And then take it over to your other side, maybe the left side here. Long, long through the right side body, deep breaths. You stay there, I'm gonna adjust my mat to stay in the frame. And then come on back through center of your child's pose, and now come up to any comfortable seat. So we did this yesterday. If you're able to, tuck the toes under and sit back on your heels this way so that you're stretching through the soles of your feet. To modify that, you can be up here, a little less weight on your heels, or you can forget that and take whatever seat you like. Right, toes tucked, that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to do some jaw exercises before we do anything else. The jaw muscles are not something we think about a ton in yoga, but really important in physical therapy. The jaw very closely connected to the neck, and so sometimes neck pain, especially in the upper neck, can be related to what the jaw is doing. These are stressful times. Maybe you're like me, you hold all your stress here in the shoulders. Maybe you clench or grind your teeth at night. So let's just do something really quick for that, okay? So you're at home, nobody's around, hopefully. Even if they are, they're your loved ones. So you're gonna look a little silly, but let's enjoy it, okay? So first, just open your mouth as wide as you can, like you're yawning. Or like a silent scream. Hold that open. And then gently close your mouth. Then we're gonna deviate the jaw, this bottom part, the bottom row of your teeth, side to side. So as far as you can to one side, and then as far as you can to the other. And just go back and forth. I'm kind of goofy, my jaw's goofy. I don't know if it looks normal on the screen. It feels totally different for me to go from one side to the other, like they both feel very different, so you might notice that for yourself. A good thing to do is to do this in your mirror, and then you can kind of see what's going on. So let's do two more, side to side with the jaw. Okay, then you're gonna take your jaw, your bottom row of teeth, and try to jut it forward. And I'm gonna go into profile. Maybe you can see this, maybe not. I'm not totally sure. If you're sick of the toes, then just come off of them. Here we go. So you're trying to take this bottom row of teeth, push it forward that way, and then pull it back in. And you're just isolating the movement in the jaw as best you can. Let's see if I can do it. Right, it's pretty goofy. I get it, it's goofy, okay? All right, we're doing some goofy things today, I'm not gonna lie. Because the next thing I want to do is also related to your jaw, but if you've done this with me before, you know it's a lot more than that. Agni Sara, the essence of fire. So again, we're gonna get into the digestive system here. So here's what I want you to do. Get into tabletop on your hands and knees. If it feels okay in your wrists, I'm trying to get where you can see me, flip your palms back in space. Only if that feels okay. You can also bring them close to one another. So this is the traditional way I was taught this technique, was to flip the palms back and bring the hands close. If you don't like that, you can just work in a regular tabletop, okay? We're gonna start with lion's breath, and we're gonna add Agni Sara. So what it looks like is you're gonna tuck your chin and inhale. This is the demo, okay? Inhale here. Big exhale. You're gonna stick your tongue out and open your mouth as wide as you can. And then you're gonna lift your head at the same time. So this part looks like this. Then you close your mouth. You have no breath in your body in this current moment because you just exhaled. Close your mouth, tuck your chin again, and then suck your belly button in as far as you can towards your back. And you're gonna hold that position for as long as you can. So if I do the whole thing, it looks like this. When you're ready to inhale, keep your chin tucked. Inhale, soften the belly. Exhale, you're gonna do it again. You're gonna open your mouth big, stick your tongue out, lion's breath. Hold your breath out, tuck your chin, suck your belly in. So let's do that a couple of times. If you have done Agni Sara before and you know the variations, pulling the stomach in and out or trying to circle or churn here, do that, but I'm not gonna get into it right now, okay? So let's do a couple more. Any hand position, tuck the chin, inhale. Lion's breath. Close your mouth, hold your breath out, tuck your chin, scoop the belly in and up. Stay here for as long as you can, holding your breath. When it's time to inhale, relax your belly, keep your chin tucked. Inhale here. Same thing on the exhale, lion's breath. Hold the breath out, tuck the chin, scoop the belly in and up. Try two more on your own. When you are all finished, take any comfortable seat that works for you. If you need to shake the wrists out a little bit, go ahead. Close your eyes, notice how you feel. So I meant to tell you before we did this that it's best to be done on a mostly empty stomach. This means you haven't eaten anything for a minimum of 2 hours. Usually, if you are pregnant, it's not a good idea to do the Agni Sara and scoop the belly in and up, so you'll avoid that if you are pregnant. And if you are pregnant or you just ate a big meal, you can always do the practice mentally. You can visualize yourself doing it rather than physically doing it. My teacher would always say, shout out to Jean Mazet, my teacher would always say, do the physical practice for a physical benefit, do the practice mentally for a mental benefit. It's still going to affect you energetically or emotionally/spiritually, whether you practice physically or mentally. Okay, so hopefully you've taken a moment to assess how that practice has affected you. And then I'm going to ask you to now move onto your back. We're finishing up here, closing postures. Come onto your back. Let's take a figure 4 pose. Cross your right ankle to your left thigh. Hug your legs into your chest. Hands can go around the thigh or around the front of the knee. If that's a tough thing to hold on to, use a strap, use a towel, use any kind of piece of fabric to make this connection happen so that you can hug the legs in and feel the stretch in that inner or outer or posterior right thigh. It should be in that right hip, right thigh somewhere. Shoulders stay down and relaxed. If your shoulders are hunching up, if your head is coming off the ground, give yourself a pillow or something under your head, right? Even your yoga block can work for this so that we're not stressing the upper body as we try to stretch into this hip. Once you're here, you can add a little rocking side to side if that feels good for you. And then let's switch it into the other side. Cross that left leg over. Hands can be under the thigh, up on the shin, or like I said, using a belt, a towel, or anything else to make a connection if the hands don't want to connect there. Soften and relax your shoulder blades into the mat. Feel the back of the head relax into the mat. Rock side to side if that feels good. Then lower your feet down on your mat. Let's take a bridge pose. We're going to hold bridge. So feet are about hip distance apart. For most people, that's between 4 and 6 inches. Arms are down by your sides, and you're just grazing, just barely touching your heels with the middle finger. That's the right placement for most of us. It's a good place to start if you're new to this pose, bridge pose. Then push down into your feet to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to hold this pose for about 5 or 6 breaths here. You might stay right here, or if you'd like more, slide your shoulder blades closer to one another on the back. Get more lift through your chest. You can clasp your hands together, press your arms down into the floor. Try lifting your hips a little higher. You can squeeze your bum. I'm giving you permission here to use those glute muscles. Notice that your chest might come up to meet your chin, kind of depends on your anatomy. Breathing deeply here. For 2 more breaths. One more inhale, and then exhale, roll it all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side, or any direction that feels good for you for the rocking. I'd like to offer you an inversion here, and we're just going to keep it simple. So the most simple version would be to bring the legs up, and they might be here, that's fine, right? They might keep the knees bent, but legs are higher than the heart. That's the idea. So you could work somewhere here, or if you have a yoga block, or something supportive like a yoga block, you can place that underneath the sacrum, the back of your pants, right? Should be below the waistband of your pants. And then you can bring the legs up from there. So just a slight variation, a little more lift underneath the hips. This block can be at whichever height you like it. So if your block feels steady enough to go here, which mine does not because it's foam, then you can do that. But you could also do this middle height. And or if you know the traditional shoulder stand, which I'm going to move into here, you can take your traditional shoulder stand. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk once I'm in it. But you start here, knees are bent, arms by your sides. Kick your legs back behind your head. Place your hands on your lower back, fingers up towards the ceiling. Elbows get nice and close to one another, and then legs come up. You're not really supposed to turn your head in this position, so I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm going to keep looking up at my feet. So if you're doing this pose, try not to have your head turned to the side. Try to keep your gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Now your pose might look more here, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not stressing your neck or your shoulders to be here. If you can get a little bit more into this straight line, more power to you. Everyone's pose will look different. 3 more breaths wherever you're at. If you're in the traditional shoulder stand and you want to exit through plow pose, then you bring your feet back behind your head. Maybe the toes touch the ground. If the toes touch the ground, really lengthen the arms, fingers interlace. Breathe here. And then eventually, you'll roll down and out of that, move your arms out of the way, take the legs down. Let's do happy baby pose. Reach your arms in between your knees. Grab hold of your ankles or the pinky toe sides of your feet. Soles of the feet rotate up towards the ceiling. Knees drawing down like they're going to touch the floor outside your rib cage. They're definitely not going to touch the floor for most of us, but that's the direction they're moving. You can rock side to side here if you like this. Sometimes I like to rock way over to one side so that knee drops down and then I can extend the leg, and that feels really good. And I'm not going to be able to do it the other direction because I've got a wall in the way, but maybe I can modify it. Good. Let's finish with a really simple supine twist. If you have a favorite version, take that. Otherwise, here's my recommendation. Lower the knees down to the right. Turn the head to the opposite direction and breathe here. Last breath. Inhale back to center. Take the legs into the opposite direction. Legs fall down to one side. Turn the head opposite. Don't get too hung up in the alignment of this pose. It should feel good in your body. Don't worry too much about if the knees are stacked right on top of one another or how high the knees are towards your arms or down lower. Just be where it feels good. You should get a little bit of a stretch here through the side body. That's all we're going for. That's also a nice way to decompress from our practice, especially if you're doing a longer practice. This one's a little short, but that's okay. Inhale the knees back to center. Lower the feet to the mat, and then you have your choice. You can go legs long, arms by your sides for your traditional Shavasana, lying on your back. Or I'm going to come up to a seated position and guide us through a little pranayama, breathing, and meditation as you finish up. So as I said, you can do that lying down, or you can come back into your comfortable seat. It's up to you. Wherever you're at, you should be comfortable and be able to be still for a few minutes. And close your eyes. And wherever you're at, whatever physical position, now is the time to move your attention to your breath. And don't try to change the breath here. Just observe and be present with every steady inhale, every exhale. Feel the natural rhythm of your breath. Then picture your breath starting 2 to 6 inches beneath your nose, 2 to 6 inches outside your nose. And as you inhale, you're drawing that breath up through both sides of the nose to your third eye chakra, which is about in between the eyebrows and back about 2 or 3 inches to the midbrain. Inhale from outside the nose, visualize that breath coming in through both sides of the nostril to the third eye center. And then exhale it down the length of your spine. So you can picture the breath, your energy, your prana, any way you like, electric light, or maybe just a soft, wispy, sort of cloud-like sensation. Picturing, visualizing, sensing your breath starting outside the nose. Inhale through both sides of the nose to a single point back 2 or 3 inches from in between the eyebrows. And then exhale, send that breath down the length of the spine, your energy, the highway of your energy so that it can move through the rest of the body. Let's keep that up. Inhale through both sides of the nose to the third eye. Exhale down the length of the spine. Every breath. Inhale through the nose to the third eye, Agni Chakra. Exhale down the length of the spine. Continue that. choice. You're welcome to continue with this breathing, but I am going to close our practice. So allow the breath to return to normal. Let go of that visualization. If you're totally into it, and I recommend pausing the video and just continuing on practicing by yourself with this meditation and pranayama as long as you'd like. But if that's all the time you have for today, then gently open your eyes, draw your hands together in front of your heart. Yogis, thank you so much for practicing with me today. I greatly appreciate it. We'll end with namaste, which means the light in me honors the light in you. At least that's my personal definition for it. I know that other people may feel differently, but let's go with that for today. Namaste, yogis and yoginis. Thank you so much. I hope to see you back tomorrow for another YouTube video by donation or free. Pay it forward in kindness if you're not able to do anything else. And again, if you're interested in other options, other types of classes, if you want to do different formats, Zoom or FaceTime or probably some technology I don't even know about, let me know. We'll get it figured out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a beautiful day.